Chapter 1. The feed cracks open. The first crack came at 3:17 a.m. A single pixel flickered on a screen in a dimly lit apartment in San Francisco. Then another. By the time the first human eyes registered the anomaly, the feed had already begun to unravel, not with a bang, but with a whisper glitch so subtle it could have been dismissed as a network hiccup. But this wasn't a bug, it was a breach. Somewhere in the encrypted depths of Twitter's servers, a door had been left open. Not by accident. By design. The year was 2020. The world was on fire. Pandemics, protests, elections, every major event was being fought not just in the streets, but in the digital trenches of social media. And Twitter, the public square of the internet, had become the battlefield. For years, the company had insisted its algorithms were neutral, its moderation impartial. But the documents that began leaking that night told a different story. They revealed a hidden architecture, a labyrinth of backdoors and kill switches, all controlled by a small, shadowy group of executives, lobbyists, and government liaisons. The first file was a spreadsheet, just numbers and names at first glance. But when you zoomed in, the patterns emerged. Certain accounts, politicians, journalists, activists were being throttled, their reach artificially limited, their voices muffled. Other accounts, less visible, were being amplified, their posts boosted into the feeds of millions, their influence growing like a virus. And then there were the blacklists, not just the obvious once-known troll farms, the bot armies, but lists of ordinary people. People who had never broken any rules. People who had simply asked the wrong questions. One of the leaked files was a chat log, a conversation between two Twitter employees, one in moderation, the other in policy. The moderator was frustrated. "We're getting reports about this guy," they type. "He's just a regular user, but he keeps tweeting about the election. His numbers are small, but his engagement is high. Should we shadow ban him?" The policy lead responded instantly. "No need. We've already got him on the list. I'll be deprioritized in the algorithm. His tweets won't disappear, but they won't spread either." The moderator hesitated. "But he's not violating any policies. He's just asking questions." The reply was cold. "That's the point." The feed was cracking open, and what was seeping out wasn't just data. It was the truth. By the time the first journalists got their hands on the files, the damage was already done. The leaks spread like wildfire. Screenshots, PDFs, encrypted messages each one. A piece of the puzzle. And the puzzle was clear. Twitter wasn't just a platform. It was a weapon that had been turned against its own users. The revelations came in waves. First, the admission that government agencies had direct access to Twitter's moderation tools. Then, the proof that certain corporations could request the removal of content that criticized them. And finally, the most damning evidence of all, the existence of a secret trust and safety council that operated outside of public oversight, deciding what millions of people could and couldn't see. The public reaction was explosive. Protests erupted. Lawsuits were filed. Congress demanded answers. But the most chilling response came from the people who had been silenced, the ones who had spent years wondering why their voices had vanished into the void. One of them, a former journalist, put it best in a now viral tweet. "They didn't just censor us. They erased us. And the worst part, we never even knew it was happening. The feed had cracked open, and the world was finally seeing what was inside." But the story didn't end there. Because the files didn't just expose the past. They hinted at something far more dangerous, a future where the feed wasn't just controlled, but completely written, and the war for your attention had only just begun.